This news has been brought to you by Avon Science, Car Time and Concord Travels.
Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Alex Pereira Rivero.
And I'm Marcia De La Fe with tonight's top headlines. Tonight on NTV Houston News, a drunk driver going the wrong way on the West Park Tollway slams into an HPD patrol car, injuring 2 police officers and killing the prisoner they were transporting.
Police are investigating after a triple shooting leaves 3 people injured and the car was found left behind in the middle of a busy street.
Iran claims it has broken up a CIA spy ring and arrested 17 Iranians who they say have confessed to acting as spies for the CIA. Some of those arrested are now facing the death penalty.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo meets with Mexico and El Salvador on reducing illegal immigration. He praised the efforts by Mexican officials on helping reduce the number of illegal immigrants arriving at the border, but says the numbers are still too high.
The U.S. Navy releases footage of a Venezuelan fighter jet that came too close to a U.S. Navy aircraft in international airspace.
Hundreds of thousands protest in Puerto Rico to demand the governor resign amid controversy.
Al-Shabaab extremists claim responsibility for a car bomb explosion in Somalia's capital that killed at least 17 people.
And our sports reporter Lauren Leal has the latest in the world of sports coming up only on NTV Houston.
In West Harris County, investigators say a suspected drunk driver slammed into a patrol car. Police say a prisoner died and 2 deputies were taken to the hospital with injuries.
The crash happened on the West Park Tollway at the Eldridge entrance. Officers say the suspect, 39-year-old Patrick Niogu, was drunk driving the wrong way on the tollway before the violent head-on collision. HPD were transporting a 42-year-old man to jail when the vehicle slammed into them.
This suspect, the one that was driving the wrong way, has been charged with felony murder because this is more than his 3rd DWI conviction. He has convictions from numerous states. Investigators
say the suspect's previous DWI convictions were from Illinois and Missouri. Felony murder charges ranges anywhere from 5 to 99 years in jail. They also say others could be charged in connection to this crash.
The next step for both the Sheriff's Department and the DA's office is we're going to find out where he was drinking. We're going to utilize every tool we have to discover where he became intoxicated, because the information we have right now is he was highly intoxicated. And so as we go forward, if there's anyone else we can hold accountable for allowing this person to get that intoxicated and get on our roadways, we're going to put them in jail as well.
The 2 deputies rushed to the hospital are expected to survive. The accused driver broke his leg. Officers say he was going the wrong way for quite a while before he collided with a patrol car.
This is an epidemic on our roadways. Always intoxicated drivers it's unacceptable. We lead the nation every year. The wrong way drivers are truly inexplicable. We're out here so many nights dealing with things like this. It needs to be a wake-up call for everyone involved, everybody that shares these roadways with us.
Police are investigating after a car was found in the middle of the road with bullet holes.
This all happened on Richmond Avenue in Woodchase. Police say the car was found with the doors opened and with excessive amount of blood inside.
Officers checked the area, didn't locate anything immediately. Got a call a little bit later that a male was inside this apartment complex that had been shot. He was transported to the hospital by private vehicle. We also learned that 2 people have been transported from this vehicle by private vehicle to area hospital.
Investigators say all 3 victims are expected to survive. They still are not sure where the shooting took place, but are reviewing surveillance video and conducting interviews. Houston police were on the scene of a deadly crash involving a pedestrian this morning on I-10 in the Gulf Freeway.
Police say a man was hit and killed as he tried to cross the freeway near downtown. Officers say it appears the victim may have been living at a homeless camp near the scene of the crash.
The driver did not show signs of intoxication and did remain on the scene. Traffic was diverted onto I-45 for several hours while investigators were on scene. For now, it's unclear if any charges will be filed. Iran said overnight it has broken up a CIA spy ring and arrested 17 Iranians recruited to collect information on the country's nuclear and military sites. Now officials claim some of those arrested have already been sentenced to death. This comes as Britain convenes an emergency meeting over Iran's seizure of a British flag oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran accused the tanker's crew of various legal infractions, and the incidents come amidst escalating showdown between Iran and the West as the landmark 2015 nuclear deal continues to unravel. Iran claims the 17 suspects confessed to acting as spies for the CIA.
You obey, you will be safe. Alter your course 2360 degrees immediately. Over.
Imperial, this is British warship Foxtrot 236. So I reiterate that as you are conducting transit passage in a recognised international strait, under international law your passage must not be impaired, impeded, obstructed or hampered.
This video, released by Iran's Revolutionary Guard, apparently shows the British flagship forced into Iranian waters. Despite their attempts to stop Iran, Iranian commandos took control of the vessel, apprehending the international crew and replacing the Union Jack with the flag of Iran.
This morning, Prime Minister Theresa May considered retaliating, including freezing Iranian assets. The seizure comes just 2 weeks after the UK Royal Marines helped seize an Iranian tanker off the coast of Gibraltar. It's believed the vessel was carrying oil to Syria in breach of EU sanctions. Britain's Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt said over the weekend that the seized British tanker should be released immediately.
The truth, Grace 1 was detained legally in Gibraltarian waters because it was carrying oil against EU sanctions to Syria, and that's why the Gibraltarian authorities acted totally with respect to due process and totally within the law. The Stena Impero was seized in Omani waters in clear contravention of international law. It was then forced to sail into Iran. This is totally and utterly unacceptable. It raises very serious questions about the security of British shipping and indeed international shipping in the Straits of Hormuz.
Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif said the seizure and economic sanctions from the West are a form of economic terrorism.
This is economic terrorism, pure and simple. We need to repeat it again and again, and we do not negotiate with terrorists.
Meanwhile, the U.S. is trying to put together a maritime coalition to protect the ships that travel through the region. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met today with Mexican officials and the president of El Salvador in El Salvador to discuss efforts of reducing migrant flows. Pompeo praised the efforts made by the Mexican government hours after meeting with the Mexican foreign minister Marcelo Ebrard in Mexico City, in which they talked about migration and trade.
Part of the agreement, Mexico avoided tariffs on U.S.-bound Mexican goods threatened by President Donald Trump by promising to cut the number of illegal immigrants traveling from Central America to the U.S. border.
They've made real progress. Importantly, they've made a real commitment towards that progress. So the numbers are good. You can see the data. It's public data. There are fewer apprehensions taking place today along our southern border, but we've got a long way to go yet.
After meeting with Ebrard, Pompeo flew to El Salvador and met with President Nayib Bukele, who described the meeting with Pompeo as a game changer. The two discussed immigration, among other issues. Bukele said the new administration of El Salvador is willing to work 100% with the U.S. government and the U.S. people.
For us, this is our most important relationship, and we want to work and we want to strengthen that relationship in all of the areas. Not only by creating a better economy, better exports, better imports, but fighting crime together. We talk about fighting the gangs together. We talk about interdicting narcotics together. We talk about reducing immigration together.
Most Central American migrants arriving at the U.S. southern border have come from Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, the U.S. Navy releases footage of a Venezuelan fighter jet that came too close to a U.S. Navy aircraft in international airspace.
Plus, hundreds of thousands filled the streets of Puerto Rico to demand the governor resign a day after he said he will not step down, but that he would not seek re-election. Stay with us.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Bump Promotion presents Idol Kid Diwane Cruise. Come on board and experience a mesmerizing journey with Manish Paul, Salman Ali, Nitin Kumar, Sachin Valmiki, Nilanjana Ray, Avanti Patel, Vibhor Parashar, Kunal Pandit, and Ankush Bharadwaj. Customized halal and Jain food. Call 1-877-600-5998 or visit www.jalbacruise.com.
Every day, law enforcement, firefighters, tow operators, and other emergency personnel risk their lives responding to calls for help. The Move Over or Slow Down law requires that you clear the lane closest to responding vehicles or reduce your speed to 20 miles per hour below the posted limit. Following this important law helps prevent crashes and saves lives. The next time you see flashing lights ahead, travel smart and move over or slow down. A road safety message from Houston TransStar.
Robert Mueller's congressional testimony is just 2 days away. Even though he said he won't speak beyond the findings in his report on the Russian investigation, Democrats say they want to present what they claim are facts to the American people. Democratic lawmakers have tried to bring articles of impeachment against the president, but have been unsuccessful. Last week, House Democrats overwhelmingly voted against impeachment, a huge win for Republicans.
A fighter jet from Venezuela made what is being called an unsafe approach to a U.S. Navy aircraft flying in international airspace. The Su-30 flanker from the Venezuelan Air Force is seen here shadowing the Navy EP-3 Ares II jet over the Caribbean Sea.
It happened Friday. The Navy says the Venezuelan pilot was flying at an unsafe distance for a long period of time, and it put the lives of the American crews in potential danger. Venezuelan officials accused the U.S. of violating its airspace. The two planes eventually went their separate ways. Hundreds of thousands of people flooded the streets of San Juan's biggest highway today, demanding the resignation of Puerto Rico Governor Ricardo Rossello. The protests are the biggest the island has seen in recent history.
The national strike comes a day after Rossello announced on Facebook that he would not step down as governor, but that he will not seek re-election. This is after almost 900 pages of private chats set off scandal in the island.
The chats revealed profanity-laced, misogynistic, and homophobic comments, including jokes about deaths following Hurricane Maria in 2017. Puerto Ricans joined the March of the People, paralyzing activity in the San Juan area and the island's main shopping, banking, and commercial districts. A car bomb set off by Islamic extremists in Somalia's capital has killed at least 17 people, according to the latest reports. The bomb went off the first checkpoint on the road that leads to the city's airport. Dozens were injured when the car packed with explosives was detonated by remote control.
The Al-Shabaab group linked to Al-Qaeda has claimed responsibility for today's attack. Officials say a suicide bomber drove the rigged car into a security checkpoint. 17 are confirmed dead, including the attacker. The attack comes just over a week after 26 people were killed and over 50 wounded in a 12-hour attack by Al-Shabaab fighters on a popular hotel in Kismayo. In that attack, a suicide bomber rammed a vehicle loaded with explosives into the hotel before heavily armed gunmen forced their way inside, shooting as they went. Hong Kong has seen growing violence against a now dead controversial extradition bill. Even though the bill was killed by Hong Kong city leader Carrie Lam, protesters have continued to show their discontent, damaging buildings and holding citywide demonstrations, even surrounding China's representative office. Today, Lam said that all of Hong Kong and its people will suffer. Violence continues to disrupt the region.
That we absolutely do not condone that sort of violent acts. And let me make this clear again. Violence is not a solution to any problem. Violence will only breed more violence. And at the end of the day, the whole of Hong Kong and the people will suffer as a result of the loss of law and order in Hong Kong.
The protests have continued against the law that would extradite suspects to mainland China. On Sunday night, men in white T-shirts, some armed with poles, flooded into a train station and attacked passengers. In this video, a man is seen attacking a reporter while on air. Reporter Gwyneth Ho was live streaming coverage of the train station attack when the man in the pink shirt is seen hitting out at people with a stick. The reporter was struck and knocked to the ground. She was taken to the hospital where she got stitches. She was assaulted by men opposition politicians suspect are gang members.
Coming up next, a French submarine is found in the Mediterranean Sea 50 years after it sank.
India has successfully launched its second unmanned lunar mission they hope will be the first to land on the moon's south pole.
Plus, we got your sport update in just a bit. Stay tuned.
See me, Salman, at Car Time Auto Repair at 10713 West Belford, Houston, Texas 77099. Quality work that rivals any dealership. At Car Time, we don't replace parts, we fix cars. We pride ourselves on getting the job done right the first time. Car Time Auto Repair, located at 10713 West Belford. Call us today, 832-743-8180.
मनपसंद सुपरमार्केट जहां की फ्रेश वेजिटेबल्स, स्पाइसेस, फ्रोजन फूड आइटम्स आपको सबसे अच्छे प्राइस में मिलेंगी और हलाल ज़बीहा मीट भी मिलेगा। दाम मनपसंद, नाम मनपसंद, तो फिर क्यों ना जाए मनपसंद। Located at Wilcrest Drive, Houston, North Highway and William Cannon Drive, Austin, Texas. तो नाम याद रखिएगा, मनपसंद सुपरमार्केट।
A French submarine that vanished in 1968 has been found in the Mediterranean Sea. The Minerve, as the sub was called, disappeared without explanation, leaving families without answers for 50 years. France's defense ministry had announced a renewed push to find the vessel late last year, and this morning the French Navy announced it had located the wreck.
Using the latest technology, including sonar and drones, the Navy located the sunken sub, which claimed the lives of 52 crew members. Now, investigators hope the wreckage may answer why the vessel sank. A number of likely causes for the sinking have been put forward, including a fault with the oxygen system or a collision with another vessel. India has launched its second unmanned lunar mission a week later than previously scheduled.
The Chandrayaan-2 first launch was delayed after a technical issue was spotted. The spacecraft has entered the Earth's orbit, where it will stay for 23 days before it begins a series of maneuvers that will take it to the moon. The space agency said it's one of the most complex missions. They hope the mission will be the first to land on the moon's south pole.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised the mission on Twitter, being led by two women. The Chandrayaan-2 will have a lander rover module for analysis of the lunar surface. BBP, known as the Buffalo Bayou Partnership, allows Houstonians and its visitors to experience the historic waterway that has been part of Houston for nearly 3 decades.
In 2015, the BBP completed a $58 million project that enhanced the bayou, which included bike trails, paddlecraft, public arts, and much, much more. Our Paige Hubbard had a chance to experience the Buffalo Bayou tour for herself. Here she is with more.
The Buffalo Bayou is said to be one of Houston's most iconic landmarks, and today we're going to get a brief history lesson about this remarkable waterway. The Buffalo Bayou has been a vital part of Houston since the Allen brothers founded the city in 1836. It's actually how Houston earned its nickname, the Bayou City, because of the unique waterfront. NTV Houston took a trip to see the 160-acre green space that resides just west of downtown. I am joined with Mr. Robbie Robinson, the Field Operations Manager for the Buffalo Bayou Partnership. Good evening. How's it going?
It's going great.
Well, thank you so much for having us out here on this amazing tour. As we've been saying all evening, this is one of Houston's most iconic landmarks. Could you give us some history facts or some knowledge that our viewers may not be privy to about the Buffalo Bayou?
Well, the Buffalo Bayou is a natural waterway that starts in Katy and ends up at the Port of Houston. And the Buffalo Bayou is the reason there is a city of Houston. The city of Houston was formed around Buffalo Bayou as a port city.
And what makes this waterway so remarkable or unique rather than all of the others out there?
That's a great question. Buffalo Bayou is tidal. and it runs east and west, and all the other major rivers in the area run north and south. So when we have a drought, they dry up. Buffalo Bayou, being under tidal influence, always has water, and so that's the reason it was the natural waterway to form a port.
Another feature of the Buffalo Bayou is the Waubat Colony. Every evening at sunset, more than 250,000 Mexican free-tailed bats depart from the crevices of Waugh Bridge, giving onlookers a sight to see. At nighttime, the lights from downtown Houston reflect off of the waterway, creating the perfect atmosphere for an intimate date night or an enjoyable moment with the family. Trudy Smith is the Director of PR and Events for the BBP. We talked to her to find out how it all came about.
There were a group of volunteers that got together that were really trying to find out what all that Buffalo Bayou can offer, all the recreational components, and because Houston was founded on Buffalo Bayou, it was important to create an awareness of the importance of this historic waterway.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that brief history lesson about one of Houston's most iconic landmarks and get a chance to come check it out for yourselves. Until next time, this is Paige Hubbard for NTV Houston.
Thanks, Paige. All right, let's turn now to Lauren Leal with the sports update.
Thanks, guys. The world of fighting keeps reviving. 40-year-old boxer Manny Pacquiao beat the defending champion Keith Thurman on Saturday in Las Vegas. Pacquiao took down Keith one-time Thurman on a split points decision to take the WBA welter belt super championship title.
Thank you. I mean, of the support, because I did my hard work training for this fight.
Before the fight begun, Thurman had hopes of knocking the old Filipino into retirement since he had height, reach, weight, and age advantage by 10 years over Pacquiao. But none of these talents surpassed the great. In fact, Thurman got knocked down in less than a minute to go in the first round. By the fifth round, Thurman acquired a nosebleed and looked absolutely beaten.
As my original trainer said, smart fighters win, dumb fighters lose. There was just some adjustments that I didn't make that I could have made. Obviously, he caught me with my hands down in the first round. You know, I was aware of Manny Pacquiao's springiness. I was aware that I should have done my head movement, but being aware and doing what you need to do are two different things in the ring.
Thurman took the loss like a champ and went on to say, "I'm not going nowhere and I'll be back." The resurrecting victory of 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao took his record to 62-7-2 with 39 knockouts, surpassing one-time Thurman's by 29-1 with 22 knockouts. Pacquiao is the only man in boxing history to hold world titles in 8 different divisions. Well, that'll do it for today's sports news. I'm Lauren Leal. Back to you in studio.
All right, Lauren, thanks a lot. Let's turn now to weather. Typical July heat today, but tomorrow we'll see a rare summer cool front make its way thanks to storms. Rain chances will be going up as we head into tomorrow.
We could expect comfortable temperatures later this week. The front will lower humidity. Morning temperatures will be in the upper 60s to low 70s Wednesday and Thursday morning. Here's your forecast. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Alex Pereira Rivero.
And I'm Marcia De La Fey. Don't forget to download our NTV Houston app for more.
Have a good night.